How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the top 10 champions for Necropolis video. Hopefully giving you some insight or a guide on who to rank up for Necropolis. Let's be clear right up front, we don't know for sure. I would highly suggest waiting for it to actually come out for at least a week or two, if you're not a whale, to see what champions are actually going to work the best. But I did want to compile this list just to give you not only my thoughts, but suggestions and ideas based on what we know about Necropolis so far, and who might be worth ranking up, who maybe to start saving resources for, and yeah, basically be a nice collection of champions that can not only bring a lot of utility to longer fights, but also really excel in longer fights where you can get the most out of them. So let's get started. I'm going to shout out two champions before the list starts that didn't make the list quite, and that's Stark Enhanced Spider-Man and SheHulk. SheHulk, I think, was designed with the Necropolis in mind. She has a lot of cleanses, a lot of bleeds. There's a lot of nodes. See this Namor that we saw in one of the intros. She has a lot of, damaging debuffs for nodes like this. And yeah, she's all about ramping up the bleeds and building them up. So I just put her, she just couldn't make the list because she's not out yet. So, next shout out, like I said, was Stark Enhanced Spider-Man. He's just a very simple champion. I'm not sure if what he does, which is just hit really hard and build up his damage real easy, I don't know if that will be effective in this content yet. So I kind of just held off on putting him on the list, but he might be useful. He hits really hard, like I said, and he can control that power. But I think with some of the nodes that might be in here, he might not be quite as effective. So to start the list, at number 10, we have Hela. So Hela, if you don't know, is probably one of the highest damaging champions in the whole game, with some synergies to help you out. If you put the Odin synergy on with the pre-fights, and she also synergizes with someone who's also on this list really well, which, spoiler alert, is Nick Fury. We'll talk about later. With the right combination, you can build up your Furies really hard, and then she becomes, like I said, one of the hardest hitting champions in the game. She's at number 10 because she doesn't bring a whole lot of utility. Like we just talked about, there's going to be some nodes that require damaging debuffs, and she doesn't have any. So, that would kind of put her at a disadvantage there. But she is an option for any fight that might not require that. So I put her at 10. But we'll see what happens here. Number 9 is Black Cat. So Black Cat, if you don't know, basically she's really good for short fights as well. But she also, based on the amount of calling cards, how many times you switched your calling cards in the fight, she gains critical damage rating multiplied by that number. So she really excels in some longer fights. She has a sabotage. She has critical bleeds. She has regular bleeds. The only problem is without the awakened ability, you won't get the combo shields. And I'm not the best Black Cat player, but I don't think without the awakened ability that there's a way to save your combo. And she does rely on the combo for a couple of her abilities. But other than that, she's a fantastic champion, great for long fights as well. I love to use the sabotage debuff personally. It can do a lot of damage, and then I run her with, if she's a 7-star, I like to run her with the critical rating, so I can do more crits and do more damage. So anyways, so at number 8, I put Scorpion. So Scorpion is kind of a unique champion. I think will do pretty well in this. Just look up some of the videos where he's doing 1.1 million damage or whatever off power stings. I don't think the power sting damage can be capped like regular damage, so that's going to be useful. He can choose his own immunities basically between, what is it, shock, poison, and rupture. Is that what it is? And he can build this up pretty fast. He has taunt to help control the fight, and he can also build up those debuffs to potentially heal reverse. So yeah, it's definitely a very powerful champion. I think that's going to do well with certain nodes in this in the Necropolis. So I think he's worthy of this list. We'll see how things shake out with him. So number 7 is the next best, or the best, science champion in the game, Human Torch. So looking at some of the nodes, I didn't see anything so far that would prevent Human Torch from doing what he does, which is Nova Flame, reverse healing, and just melt the opponent if they're Mystic, or really anyone who's not immune to Nova Flame. So yeah, he's definitely, I think, still going to be an option here, which is quite surprising, but not really. I mean, he has that one Nova Flame, guaranteed Nova Flame charge. So, I don't know how well he's going to do, but I think he's going to do pretty good. I think he'll be a pretty good option, but we'll have to see with all the nodes if there's anything preventing him from really popping off. But I have him at number 7. All right, number 6, we have Nick Fury. Now, Nick Fury not only is a champion with a really big health pool if you take into account his 2 lives, but you can really build up using his bleeds and build up some pretty nice damage for the special 3, and build up those eternal bleeds and gets that additional attack rating on your special 3. Obviously has damaging debuffs for some of the nodes, like we talked about. He has the True Strike. He gains the Fury. He can go unblockable depending on how many charges he has. Really easy to ramp up. If you do mess up and take a hit, he's going to gain those charges and just get better. Worst case scenario, you lose your first life, get a second life, etc., etc. The other thing about Nick Fury that makes him so good is he has a lot of solid synergies with some champions that you can throw on the team if you just need that utility. And yeah, it's just a really all-around solid champion here at number 6. The only thing stopping him from going a little higher is the damage isn't quite as good as some of the others on this list, I don't think. Very good. It's just not like his peak is lower than the others. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But anyways, number 5, we have Shuri. Now, I'm not the biggest Shuri expert, but you can go and watch some videos. But she seems like she's going to be a really, really solid champion to have on your team for this. She can build up those stuns, or not stuns, but shocks. Again, another damaging debuff, but she also can build up those passive stuns. She also doesn't make contact on some of her hits. And actually, I just read, she doesn't do any contact damage. So it's all non-contact, which is really good. So if you run into some Machumas or Korgs, there you go. Actually, don't use her on Korg. Korg is shock immune, right? Anyways, but yeah, that's really useful as well. And then her peak is really, really high. Does take a bit to get there. But once you get there, you have that consistent damage, and you just play well and just watch the melt. I think she's gonna be a beast. I got lucky and pulled her just a couple days ago. So, anyways, so number 4 is gonna be Strife. Now, I've never used Strife outside of, I think, the 5-star or something. It's been a while. I did not pull him as a 7-star, but he's available as a 7-star. But basically, if you don't know what he does, is he basically builds up these telepathic charges. You can get a max of 20, and they increase his damage rating by 54 per charge, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you finish the fight, you can convert 70% of them. So I think like an amount, and it becomes a persistent telepathic charge, and that carries over from fight to fight. So you can build up to 20 in a fight, bank them, go to the next fight, gain another 20 plus the ones you banked, etc., and it makes him really, really powerful, along with some pretty decent abilities. So yeah, and some really strong special attacks. I'm not an expert on him. He has like some invisibility and stuff, so I'm not an expert on him. But if you want to look him up, you can. But I think him being available as a 7-star is going to be quite powerful, especially against some of these matchups. So I put him here at number 4. All right, at number 3 we have Baron Zemo. I know it's kind of a meme, Zemo Gate, going around, but I think there is some merit behind it. Not the conspiracy, but the idea of it. So if you don't know what he does, he basically puts on permanent bleeds. He has a bunch of cleanses. Once the cleanses are gone, you can root the opponent and then build up those bleeds. And then once they're all built up, you can cash it out for a giant special 3. Here, attacks gain plus 600 attack rating for each indefinite effects on the opponent. Excuse me. So yeah, it's a pretty powerful champion, I think, for this content, as long as they can bleed. And like I said, you probably noticed a trend. You got the damaging ability, you got the cleanse, and you got the build up. So he marks all the boxes. Obviously not going to be great for every single fight. No champion on this list will be, but definitely I think he's going to be a solid choice if you choose to bring him in. So number 2 is going to be Kate Bishop. So I don't really think I need to say much about Kate. The only reason she's not number 1 is because she does take quite a bit of skill that I don't possess. I don't feel comfortable taking her into this kind of content myself because I don't think I could keep up her abilities with everything going on. My mind needs to be simple. But if you do have that skill and you can use her, she can ramp up and put on some pretty solid damage, some nice effects. She's the only champion that can apply caltrops. She has passive Cold Snap, and then she has Tranquilize. And once you get those all on the opponent and you can get them in a position where you can refresh, she's going to be absolutely amazing. Like I said, if you have the ability to do so. The only problem is she needs to, I don't know how big of a deal it'll be. Some of the traps will require you to not have the opponent against the wall, which could be kind of troublesome because she needs them against the wall to refresh her abilities. I don't know how big of a deal that's actually going to be. I'm sure some people will show you how to get around it and how to play her even if that's up. But yeah, just a really solid champion at number 2. So number 1, I have Aegon. He's the OG long fight champion beast. Basically, the more hits he has, the more effects he gains, shrugging off debuffs, furies, gaining furies, decreasing opponent defensive ability accuracy, etc., etc. And yeah, so he can build up to 1,000 hits, and has the ramp up damage. He has the damaging debuffs, not quite as many as some others, but he can gain that true strike on his just regular attacks. He also, if you heavy, let's see, what is it? Heavy into the special 2. If the opponent plays into you, you can gain 6 furies, drop a nasty special 2. Then you have crazy bleed damage. While you're hitting the opponent, you have a chance to cleanse or purify debuffs that are on you. Just a really powerful combination. And a very simple champion to play. A good strategy here is to build up to a combo you're comfortable with and then quitting the fight so you don't lose that combo going back in. That's just kind of the traditional Aegon play. I heard, I don't know if this is rumors or if they said that Aegon, they wanted it so that Aegon wasn't beating every fight. But, since we're here at the end, none of these champions are going to be 100% your answer to every single fight. That's not what this content is going to be. You might use a combination of these champions. You might use some completely different champions just to counter some utility. Like, for example, I think someone I didn't mention was Spidey Supreme, who might be very useful for one of the nodes. I think one of the nodes is like the opponent needs to add debuffs to based on the number of debuffs the opponent has, they take X amount of damage, so you need to add debuffs to them. Like, it's basically what I'm trying to say is there's going to be tons of different champions not on this list that are going to be helpful. I just thought I would make a list that kind of compiles some of the better or the traditionally better champions for longer fights that we have in the game. Let me be clear, I highly recommend, do not rank up any champions based on this list until about a week or so, or at least until you watch your favorite streamer, MCOC YouTuber do the content, okay? And then come back to this list, and then we can discuss. If there's anyone I missed, please put it in the comments. If there's a mistake or you think someone's like, hey, red flag, he's not going to work at all, you missed this, put it in the comments. So check the comments first before using this list, because hopefully it'll be a ever-changing discussion in the comments. And yeah, Necropolis is going to be some big content. It's not going to be simple. Like I said at the beginning, I think SheHulk is going to kind of seem made for it. So at least from everything I've seen. So we'll see on that. But yeah, please check the comments. Please discuss in the comments and let me know who you think is going to be good. What do you think of the list? Do you think it's way off? If so, let me know. But I think it's a pretty solid collection of champions. But we'll see. We won't know. We won't know for sure. But these are just potential rank ups. So yeah, I was just hoping to give people maybe an educated guess on who they could use, so they don't, so they could start saving resources to who they might want to use. I don't know. Hopefully it helps. Hopefully it helps. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope y'all did enjoy, and I hope it's helpful now and in the future. We'll see if my predictions end up being good or if they just get completely destroyed. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, y'all. Y'all take care.